Good afternoon. We got a board meeting coming up Monday. We'd like everybody to participate and hopefully they can share some input. We got a broken district. We need to fix it. Here's how I think that it's broken, in my opinion. We've got a bunch of rubber stampers on the board that give a blind trust to the administration and they fail to honor their oath. How it gets fixed? Well, these directors need to either honor their oath or resign. It's pretty simple. Do your job or get out of the way. So let's take a look. In my opinion again, but also through the law that we've read, the public, the stakeholders have a right to know. That's a law. They have a right to know where every dollar goes. They get to know why each dollar was collected and where it was spent. Lawful transparency is required to be provided by 9 moral individual board members honoring their oath of office to act with fidelity, right? The stakeholders have the responsibility to hold the board accountable. That's you guys. Show up to the meeting. Hold us accountable. We're to be accountable as public servants. We work for you. If you have a question, you ask us. It's our job to get the administration to get it answered. The board has a responsibility to hold that subordinate administration accountable, right? And the board has a responsibility to answer to the stakeholders and honor their oath. I want to show you an example of this, and then I think you'll get the bigger picture of what I'm trying to say, of why these people that are nice people, but really bad politicians, because they've been given authority, they abdicate that authority, they shirk that authority, and they remove accountability from the system. That's been my argument since day one, and we can prove it again here. Thank you. So we're going to go back to this Finance Committee meeting, May 11th. Roll call's been taken, and here we go.
Get started. The first item on the agenda is the annual financial report. This is the 2018-19 annual financial report. This goes in correlation with the 2018-19 independent audit that was completed. That will be shared with the board, hopefully at the June board meeting.
So there you go. June board meeting. They got this report. It's been completed, and this board doesn't have a copy of it, nor will it be shared for about another month or so. That's not holding your administration accountable. So let's take a look at this annual financial report, and let's take a look at what it has to say inside of it. So I'm going to bring it over here. Excuse me. And we'll open this puppy up. What I want to show you first is this. This is on the annual financial report, and this is I think the administration made this, but it's really the board's responsibility to make it. But here it shows the organizational chart. What a mess, right? Not only is it a mess, but it shows no stakeholder in this entire system. That's you guys. You're the boss of the system. You're the one that elected this board. So I also wanted to show, if you take a look at this, right, there's the org chart. Stakeholders belong above them. And if you look at this little line, you'll see that it kind of goes to the left and it kind of goes to the right. Well, that's because both of these people report to the board, right? And they need to be accountable to the board with fidelity, right? They're subordinate, contracted employees held accountable by public servants of the stakeholder. All right? So when you look at the business administration, that's what we're looking at here. This person speaking is the business administrator. It shows that it goes through the superintendent to the board. That's not really how this thing's supposed to work, and we'll show it to you in a second. This is a reorganized chart that looks more like a normal organizational chart. It's the same chart you just saw, but put in perspective of the way it should be administered, held accountable. So you got this stakeholder, all these citizens, parents, students, taxpayers, they're all stakeholders. They have input, and they, right, the citizens and taxpayers of that community elect public servants. They become 9 school board members, which contract a solicitor, a superintendent, and contract a business administrator. And from there, the rest of the organization takes place. Staff and everybody else held accountable up through the superintendent to the board. So each and every one of these people, the buck stops with the board and those stakeholders that they have to be held accountable to. And the superintendent funnels all of these issues to the board. That's how it works. We hold him accountable. He keeps everybody in line. That's how it's supposed to go. Pretty straightforward. So, back to the here and why. We're going to look at directors that need to honor their oath. So you tell me what you think as to whether or not this person is being held accountable. Here we go.
Due to the coronavirus epidemic and our auditors being within Montgomery County, they were hit hardest and delayed most in their work. So there was a delay in receiving our audit report. I have received the draft report from the audit firm. They have not released that publicly yet, so they will be releasing that shortly.
So she just admitted that she has a copy of it. Go back to the org chart. She reports to the board. We asked for it. We're not being given it. And then the board, the majority, are not holding this subordinate employee accountable to make sure that we get this report. So they're going to wait till June. But let's take a look at the AFR currently that we have, right? See if I can pull this up for you. Business office, hidden in plain sight, by the way. AFRs. And here we go. Here's the financial information. So we're going to first of all go back down to page 5. There's that organizational chart. It says that the school board holds these people accountable and everything goes back to the board. Realistically, we now know stakeholders have to hold us accountable. And that's the way it goes. I'm a citizen giving this review. Right, so let's go down to page 11 and see what we got here. So this tells us that we have a deficiency of $2.4 million. The board's accountable to the people. Why are they spending $2.4 million they don't have? Let's find out what's going on. So the other page I'm going to skip through. We're going to go to page 123. Here's a big part of it. You have millions of dollars in debt. Actually, you have hundreds of millions of dollars in debt with $119 million plus the addition of this other $500,000. And you're spending almost $2 million a year, 5% of your income on interest payments to banks, not students, not teachers, not sports. You're spending $1.9 million because you wanted it now and you didn't wait. But it's okay. Let's go to page 122. Here you're looking at the payments every year to make principal and interest payments. $3.7 million. It's more than you'd ever believe when you think about it. You got a $40-some million budget and $3.7 million is to pay for things because you wanted it now and you couldn't wait. Right? Let's take a look and see what our operating expenses look like. That's on page 116. Operating expense, total actual expenditures, other financial uses, $43,900,000. But that's not all. Let's go down another page. It really says when you add in the facilities, acquisitions, constructions, and improvements, where this district last year spent another $2.5 million, that we actually spent total actual expenditures $46 million for a little over 2,000 students. Who's holding who accountable? Right? Take a look, see what you can do. Help us out. Attend the meeting, please. Let's get the budget under control. In my opinion, it was immoral for a board answering to the stakeholders to assign budgets that is greater than the revenue they expect to take in. That's immoral. Secondly, in years past, this year specifically, it was immoral for this board to allow that district administration, their subordinates, to spend more than they had, millions of dollars more, and not hold them accountable to the responsibility of the district. Thank you.